That we draw our framework and the line work for this drawing, the second thing that we want to add to this section is that we want to add the different hash to different areas in order to differentiate the materiality of these assemblies. In order to add a hatch to our drawings, what we have to do is that we're going to go over here in the draw section in the home tab, and I'm going to click on the hatch button, or I can just type H, and that basically give me the option of filling hatch of different objects. So a couple of things that I have to change or adjust. The first thing I have to change or adjust is the pattern of hatch. I have a list of different hatch options that I can use, and depending on the type of hatch that I want to add, I can change the hatch pattern to the specific one. Since it's going to be concrete, I'm going to use arc concrete, and as I move my mouse to different area, you see that it's basically filled that space. I have to emphasize in that whenever you want to hatch in the area, see that I'm in this open space. The AutoCAD only can create a hatch in the areas that is basically closed. So sometimes you have an object somewhere and you try to create a hatch, but part of that, for example, one edge of it, or like for example one corner, is not completely closed, and that basically give you some error that the AutoCAD cannot create a hatch in that area. After I choose my patterns, next thing that I have to change is that I have to change the scale of that hatch pattern. So right now, you have the number of 1, what you can change it to, for example, 0.3, and if I move my mouse to different area, you see that I can add that hatch to that specific area I want to create. I also can change the angle of the hatch, I can change the transparency, and I can change basically the color. I could be following the color of layer, or you can follow the color of whatever layer that is active now. So when I'm done, I can just basically go here and close that, and that basically create my first hatch. In this um, way that I create, basically I create a 3 separate object. Instead of creating the 3 separate object, I actually create one object even if I click on the 3 separate areas. So if I want to create 3 separate hatch, what I have to do is that I have to erase this, and I have to go over here and run a hatch again. Each time that I'm done, I have to close the hatch box. Again, run that command, and then close it again, and then run it again and close it again. So basically this time I created 3 separate hatch. And the reason I'm doing this is that sometimes in my drawing I want to create and change some specification, for example the scale or hatch pattern from one area. So if I create, for example, this piece as a one element, I cannot change or I cannot differentiate different areas. Right now actually I create this hatch in a title block. So what I'm going to do is that I'm selecting this hatch, and I'm going to go to the home button, and I'm going to go to the hatch layer and place them in a hatch layer. Alright, so the other hatch format that I have is basically two of them is representing the earth, one of them represent the gravel here, some represent the rigid insulation, and this one represent the brick wall. So I'm gonna create the hatch for this piece, for the earth from these two sides. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna basically first change this hatch to this one. And if you go to this drawing, you see that there is no line here. I will intentionally add those lines down here in order to create the hatch. And after I'm done with this hatch, basically I'm gonna get rid of that line there. So what I'm gonna go is that I'm gonna go with the hatch commands. This time I'm gonna change that one to basically earth, and go over this. This is very small, so maybe I have to change this one to 2, see what happens. See, this is still small, so maybe 10. Oops, accident. So 10, okay, here we go. And I'm gonna click here, so that's gonna be good for this part. this one same, and I'm done. I'm finished creation hatch, and that will be my hatch for this area. Now that I'm done, I know that these two line is based, this line here, this line here is basically wrong. There shouldn't be any line because this is the earth. So I'm going to delete those line, those reference line after I finish the hatch. And you see that they still AutoCAD understand the hatch that I create. If I by any chance I want to change the boundary of the hatch, what I can do is that I can select the hatch area and I can zoom in and grab the grip, and I can move that. So basically the hatch is now kind of separated from the object, from the first object that defined those boundaries, and I can edit the boundary of the hatch. So I'm going to undo this, getting back to where it was before. What I want you to do is that I want you to go over and then adding the hatch to these two areas as well. So you have to check that to see that what are those areas, and then reflect that in your drawings. Actually, I miss one line here, so I have to add this 4-digit basically installation, and then for 4-digit grable. So finish this drawing, add all those hatches, and then we get back and we're gonna add multi-leader to our drawing set.